Hopefully everyone's having a good Friday after the holiday. Just decided to do a pop-up live, get some tidbits out there. Didn't have enough to do a video. Did a video on built and some code revelations that folks found yesterday with regard to the new cards. We can't wait until the 14th. Everybody needs to know what the little nugget is. So if there's a nugget out there, we're going to talk about it across this community. Views will happen, which is good. So we'll see what happens. So a couple things that I found of interest today. Let's jump into those. We are going to jump over to Danny the Deal Guru. I did notice this on my Chase offers, but Chase is offering a free Calm premium subscription with the Sapphire Reserve and 50% off with the Sapphire Preferred. So Calm.com is a $70 benefit. For the premium version, you can get the annual version for free using the Sapphire Reserve. This is the second year in a row that they're offering this subscription. Mine will renew in time to get the 100% cash back on it. I think at this point, if they've done it 2 years in a row, it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility to see Chase just add this as a permanent credit going forward in the not too distant future. If you use Calm.com, I have from time to time. The meditations are nice. The just ability to put aside some time and focus, or just having that background sound can be really helpful. I don't know that I necessarily value it at $70, but I also know that I wouldn't necessarily want to pay for Calm unless I was getting reimbursed for it. So I would use it. I don't know that I'd use it as like a full $70 value, but keeping this on the Sapphire Reserve going forward wouldn't be a bad thing. And getting, $35 back from the Sapphire Preferred, not a bad route either. So Calm.com, 100% back as a Chase offer, 1 year claim. And you spend $34.99 or more. Calm.com for the year is $69.99. Nice. So there you go. This offer expires on 3/31/26. Just go into your Chase app, turn it on. Must make first recurring purchase by 4/14/2026. Mine is, I want to say, March 6th. So there you go. Freecom.com for a year. Next up, in slightly disturbing news, SoFi has been reaching out to their credit card holders and letting them know that to continue to hold the SoFi card, regardless of if you're SoFi Plus or not, they are going to be tacking on a $10 monthly fee for some credit card holders. Interesting play here. Don't know that I'd want to have a 2% catch-all at $120 a year, but that's what's happening. SoFi sent out an email to some 2.2% card holders informing them that they will be charged a $10 monthly fee. We want to let you know about an upcoming update to your SoFi Unlimited 2% credit card terms starting February 23rd, 2026. A $10 monthly fee will be added to your credit card account. This will help us continue to provide the benefits, protection, and service that our members expect from SoFi. Please contact us at SoFi.com by chat or by calling us by February 23rd, 2026 if you would like to close your credit card account and avoid the $10 monthly fee. This seems like they are shooting themselves in their foot with a howitzer. There's obviously going to be folks who are going to cancel outright because of this. There will be folks who will sneakily start paying the $10 fee and not realizing it. There's folks who may just be fine paying $10, getting 2% back every month, and just live with the simplicity of it. Paying this fee doesn't make a lot of sense, as you could get SoFi Plus for $10 a month instead and earn 2.2% on the card. Assuming if you upgrade, this other $10 fee will not be charged. Also, nothing in the email about that. So there you go. Interestingly, most card holders have not received this email, and it will not affect anybody, with customer service reps stating the fee is currently only affecting a small portion of our credit card users, but if affected, an email update would have been sent. It's unclear how SoFi is determining who have to pay this fee and who won't. I have an idea that the folks who will have to pay it are synthetic whales. Like the folks who are putting some manufacturer spend through it. I think this is a way to start weeding some of those folks out, because SoFi doesn't want to deal with them. But we'll see. All right, next up, we've got Chase Updates Pay Yourself Back categories for Sapphire Inc. and other co-brands. I'm about a day late on this, but nobody else was reporting it today. I mean, shout out to Dugras. He did mention the Aeroplan card. This is on here. That got extended until at least March, but these will get extended pretty easily and pretty frequently. So Sapphire Reserve, you can redeem points for 1.25 cents a point for statement credit against purchases at gas stations, fitness clubs, and gym memberships, and the annual fee through March 31st of 2026. You'll get 1.5 cents a point for redeeming at eligible charities through March 31st of 2026. Sapphire Preferred, 1.25 cents per point at selected charities, 1.1 cent per point at fitness clubs and gym memberships, or toward your annual fee. That would require you to have 8,637 points to waive the $95 annual fee. Sapphire Reserve for Business, just select category, qualifying charities at 1.25 through March. JP Morgan, same as the Sapphire Reserve. Chase Ink cards, they get 1.25 at select charities, as does the Ink Premier and Ink Preferred. So there you go. Freedom cards is select charities at 1.25 cents per point. Rapid rewards cards, those all you can do 1 cent per point toward your annual fee. The Rapid Rewards business cards are 1 cent per point toward your annual fee. No big deal there. Mileage Plus cards, they also have pay yourself back at rates of 1.35 to 1.5 cents per point toward your card's annual fee. United cardholders can also use pay yourself back to redeem toward 1 cent per point toward United in-flight transactions of $50 or more. There's no specified deadline for the pay yourself back option at this time. You'll get 1.5 cents per point if you are doing the if you have the United Explorer card, any value lesser of 1.4 cents per mile when using to offset the annual fee of the United Quest card. Don't remember where the United Club card comes in. I assume it's going to be at that 1.35. United Aeroplan card, you can get 1.25 cents per point redeemed to cover your annual fee within 90 days of the billing cycle. And the travel purchases are capped at 200,000 points or $2,500 per year with these redemptions. Also through March 31st, you can pay yourself back for select department stores, utilities, Amazon, Whole Foods, gas, home improvement stores, redeemed at a rate of 0.8 cents per point. And those categories are in addition to dining and grocery, which are also 0.8 cents per point. But the Aeroplan Caravan continues to roll on. Marriott Bonvoy Bold also added pay yourself back. That is up to $750 a year. You'll be redeeming up 0.8 cents per point for Marriott travel purchases made directly with airlines or hotels participating in Marriott Bonvoy. So airline purchases and Bonvoy purchases can be redeemed at 0.8 cents per point. Woohoo. So those are the Chase ones. And then finally, also wanted to remind folks that the revamped Choice Privileges program is now live with new perks and top tier status. It's also significantly easier to get status with Choice. So you'll get rewards every 5 nights. You'll earn special rewards such as bonus points or gift cards. Choice Gold will now take effect after 5 nights. Platinum Elites will be added after 15 nights. Diamond Elite after 35. You'll hit the new Titanium with 55 nights or 110 Elite qualifying credits. Elite qualifying credits can also be earned through the Chase Privileges MasterCard. So that's cool. Titanium is their new high tier. It introduces a revolutionary new benefit, the Titanium Travel Award, which allows members to book a room at more than 400 of their premium properties. This will include Cambria's, Radisson Blue, Blue Green Vacations, all of that for half the points. So you get a 50% discount for being Titanium, which is awesome. Repeat stay bonuses are now going into effect. You'll earn 1,000 bonus points after your second and third qualifying stays each year. Soft landings for elite members, and then point sharing is coming later this year. I want to see this Titanium Travel Award added to other other hotel programs. This would be a kick-ass award for Diamond Reserve. This would be a kick-ass award for Titanium or Ambassador members at Marriott. This would be an awesome award. This would just make the globalists just insanely overpowered. But your top tier, if you're displaying that level of loyalty to the brand, them giving you back 50% in points sounds awesome. So those are the share stories I had across the board. Whoa, we got a bunch of folks here in the comments, so thank you for showing out. Chad's Money Minutes joining. Thank you so much, sir. Hopefully things going well there. Nice talking to you the other day as well. Glad to see you. Kirby G. Hey, how's it going? Rupert Pond joining us. Hey. Thank you so much, sir. Kevin Yin, do you think Wells Fargo will copy Built with a $4.95 annual fee? I don't know yet. Beyond has been a little sketchy. We're gonna hopefully find out more in the next. I'll hopefully find out more in the next little bit. I think $4.95 can make a certain amount of sense. It's going to depend on what they do in terms of the structure of the card, earning structure, the benefits that you'll get on the card. I don't think it's as intentional as, we're going to launch Beyond and undercut the Built card. Built can undercut the Built card pretty easily by themselves. I think Wells should be playing a longer game than that. But I could see $4.95 as an annual fee for sure, because $450 to $600 in that zone. As long as you can make up most of the annual fee and credits and not make people question their sanity, you should be fine. And as long as Wells Fargo adds more transfer partners, that would be huge. James Ragland joining us. Hello, sir. James, hope all is well. I know you're recovering seemingly pretty well. I do know that things are moving along. Hope that continues to be positive for you, and that not that I want time to move pretty quickly, but that you're back at work quicker than you need to be. But Clinton Woodward popping in. Thank you so much. Yeah, I just decided to pop up, do a quick live, or see how long the live would go. Good evening. Thank you, sir. Mike Newland joining us, everybody's patron of channel memberships. Thank you so much, Mike, for stopping in. Glad you could stop by. M2K joining us. Hey, all. Thank you, sir. Yes, alive during city nights. Yeah, I wanted to just come in and ruin your dining experiences. Share video mentioning it is the end. I'm assuming this is toward Built. Maybe not. Right, there's a storm over me right now. I can't comment more. Maybe that's why. If I don't comment more, then maybe that's why. Well, hopefully the storm is pretty quick. One moment. But yeah, hopefully it's relatively quick for you over there. Nicholas Celia, what is going on with SoFi? It looks like they're going to fall apart. I don't know. I currently have a personal loan out with SoFi, so hopefully they don't fall apart, because then that loan gets sold to someone else, and I wouldn't like that. One moment, guys. I'll be right back. I got to let little puppers out. 1 second. Sorry, all. I am outside of the basement environment today, so animals have to go outside. What's going on with SoFi? No idea. Hopefully, this is just a means of getting rid of not churners, but the manufactured spend crowd. But this is not the tact that I was expecting to see from them. But they have also announced a new 5% grocery credit card that is behind SoFi Plus. So we'll see what happens going forward. I don't think this is a liquidity issue. I think this is hey, if you're going to keep abusing our credit card, pay us $10 a month. Maybe. I think that's going to happen with a lot of credit cards in the future. If you're not going to put them through the cards, so they're not going to close you, or they're going to attack on some fees. Yeah, that's possible too. It could be. I don't know if it's going after. I think of it as going after the synthetic whales. It could also be going after the folks who aren't using the card nearly enough. And if they're not getting swipe fees, they may as well get a monthly fee from you. I think either way, they're making it known that they can't support you if you're not using the card. Kevin, it's almost like the same annual fee of B of A, Premium Rewards, or Amex Green in it currently. Yeah, that's a 95 and the 120 and a 150. It comes in at 120 if you spend $6,000 a year through the card and you pay the monthly fee. You've offset the annual fee at least, but then you're not getting any other rewards, so that sucks. John's Credit and Travel. Hello. Thank you so much, John. Hope all is well. Looking forward to your next video. No Name says, area plan, pay yourself back through the end of the year, not March to the reverse. Sorry, that would be on upgraded points then for not having that upright. If it's through the end of the year, even better. That's awesome. Stacy's Travel Points. Stacy's going to be posting more on YouTube here, so definitely give her channel a follow. Stacy also a co-moderator with me on a Rove Facebook group. So thank you for joining, Stacy. Hope all is well in Northeast Ohio. Hopefully the lake effect isn't too bad tonight, because it is still ungodly cold here in New York, and I don't like it. 250 Avios per dollar purchases on British Airways shopping portal for Kate Spade. Yeah, I saw that earlier today. That was pretty funny. It's also in the JetBlue portal. So I think anywhere that Kate Spade is currently a shopping partner, then it would be there. One moment. Let us do some live research here. 1 second. Let's share my screen. Nope, Kate Spade is only 9.8x Rove miles per dollar, but they also have the Kate Spade outlet, so that's good. All right, never mind. I thought that would be hilarious. I wasn't going to go buy a bag tonight anyway. Dem joining in. Thanks so much, Dem. Nicholas, what's going on with SoFi? Haven't heard anything. So SoFi has slapped a monthly fee, $10 monthly fee onto their 2% credit card to select users. It's not going across the board. They are emailing those users specifically, and apparently customer service is telling folks, if you didn't get an email from us, don't worry about it. I would put the ellipsis and for now at the end of that statement, but customer service is doing what they got to do and probably using the lines that they were given. Bill, right? Chase added an anger management app for its customers. They must be getting the reviews. They had this before the refresh last year. I got it before the refresh last year. I deal with anxiety and stuff like that quite a lot. So Calm was an interesting play. When I saw that it was 100% cash back last year, I was like, oh, okay, cool. They've extended it to this year. I would like them to just make it a perk of the card. That would be helpful. Supercell, Happy New Year's, everyone. Happy New Year, Supercell. Hope all is well there. Kevin Nguyen, I'm scared as hell at maybe 6 hours of the storm. Yikes. Well, it should be good. It shouldn't be too bad then. 6 hours. Check the forecast. There's got to be a Doppler effect over it and track for it. Hopefully all goes well. Juan Meomix, do you have cats? I like cats. There are cats both here up north at my partner's abode, and there is a cat in my house. So yes, there are 3 cats in my life. Kirby asks, and now for sports still a thing? I don't know. I gotta follow up. Like life's really hard for RJ and then me, like one after the other. And life has been lifing for our co-hosts on Stack Your Points. So we have sort of just been on the side with it. Like we just haven't done much with it, and I've used that time for lives here. But yeah, it should be back, or we have another project that might be starting in a couple of weeks in relation to it. But we might see if there's an appetite for it now for sports, because it was fun. I just don't know what we'll do next. Sleeper Out, Chase adding the new $250 select hotel credit on the CSR, plus getting rid of the biannual requirement, plus the new $100 Chase offer through portal probably overtakes Amex cash investment in FHR. If the 250 in select hotels is permanent, yes. The $100 and $600 in spend is a nice little stack, but that is targeted. You can't expect that to be going forward. This select hotel credit, I think, should definitely be a thing. going forward. I think the lift of the biannual is also huge, but I still think it would just be better to do a 2-night stay and $500 off of a 2-night stay as opposed to $500 over 4 nights. So it's a step in the right direction. I said it was a step in the right direction back in September, but it's, this 250 has to stick around. And again, they would ease a lot of their concerns, and they would ease a lot of the hatred toward them if it was one $500 credit all at once. It's 13 degrees where Stacy is. That's horrifying. I'm sorry. 80 today in Austin. Well, I'm in the wrong dang state. Breezy is 60 degrees here in Florida. Lucky. Source King comes in and mentions that the cold makes you stronger and it weeds out the weak ones. I knew that from when I lived in North Carolina, like when it was freezing for North Carolinians, because in that section of the country, you break out the parkas when it's 50 degrees. I had no problem, but I still don't like it. Like it is, I want to say 14, 15 degrees here. 1 second. It is 19 degrees here right now. No, thank you. Speaking of 56 in Northern Cali from Supercell, there you go. One moment. Let me just get the puppers here. We got Duros chiming in. Pop tarts are delicious. I miss them. I miss them very much. And he asked if anyone else had a heart attack when Pay Yourself Back disappeared for travel on the Aeroplan card for about 6 hours on New Year's Day. Or was it just him? I want to say that it was not just you, but I do know that most of the community were looking for your reaction first. Be right back. 1 second. Sorry, just opening that door is hateful. Just the worst. Omniomix mentions that it's 80 in Central Texas. Is what it is. 23 degrees here. Yikes. Counting down to the days before I make another cruise trip to the Caribbean for warmth. Understandable. Bay Area, it's 49 to 60. With the rain, that's not cool. 56 for James Nguyen in California. So, all right. 25 in Chillicothe. Apparently, the further south you go in Ohio, it gets a little bit better. 60 degrees here in Vegas. Okay. Biology break for the puppers. Yes. No biology break here. Pet's coming back in. Yep. What copyright free music? I forgot to pop it on there. And Drew Grouse is the father of Pay Yourself Back on the Aeroplan card. Yes. And it's Kevin's 4th stream of the year. Perfect. Thank you so much. 25 nights in the Caribbean scheduled so far. The cold makes you do silly things. It makes you do things such as that. I get it. Background balloon joining us. Thank you, sir. Oh, hey, pop up live. Yep. Just doing my thing. I'm flying to Tulum on Tuesday for a week from warm to warmer. Well, as long as it's all expense paid, you're good to go. So yeah, not a whole lot there. That choice titanium sounds like it'll be interesting. I'm really intrigued by that 50% thing. Like, if Hyatt gave you 50% of your points back, which are already super easy to use and super valuable and not like a significant amount, but if they gave you 50% back for being like super globalist, tons of people would jump after super globalist. If Hilton's Diamond Reserve came with like a 50% discount on point stays, that would instantly get people back to staying at Hilton's, to stay at Hilton's. But we'll see how it shakes out. I'm hoping that it's successful for Choice. Is it going to make me go out and spend 55 nights at Choices? No. But Choice could play into my plans depending on where things go with the Sapphire Reserve, which kind of leads into Nicholas's question. Sorry, Nicholas. What new cards are you going to get this year? An elevated Wells Fargo card. If it doesn't suck, I would certainly go after that card. I've already got the Attune, I've got the Autograph, I've got the Active Cash. So I don't know what it would have to do to not suck, but the Rumored Beyond card should be nice. Other cards that I'm interested in would be if there's a premium World of Hyatt card, that could be enticing. A no annual fee World of Hyatt card, which is Nick from Frequent Miler's new prediction, that depending on what it does, that could also be interesting for sure. Otherwise, there's not a whole lot else on the list for me to really go after this year, unless I wanted to just start Amex sub hunting, which I don't really know what I'd be using my membership reward points for. I don't get a ton of opportunity to do international first in business. So without taking that into account, domestic flights through Amex don't seem the best. And then just transferring over to Hilton and then relying on great Hilton cherry picking doesn't seem awesome for me. So yeah, I mean, there's still definite value you can get out of Hilton. You just have to work it really hard. Like for a 5-night stay, you have to book through points and throw in a free night certificate to like artificially inflate the points well past 1 cent per point. It's not that it's not doable. It's just a pain. So right now, the new Wells Premium card, should it become a thing, I'm definitely interested in, as long as it's not bad. I'm interested to see what Built does with the Built card, but I'm not like going out of my way to get it. And we'll just see what else shakes out. If the Sapphire Preferred refresh goes through and is good, I'll probably change one of my Freedom cards to a Sapphire and go from there. I'm not letting that dog back out. Nope. He likes to spend his time at the door. We need some hot chocolate and pizza. I'm here for the hot chocolate. The pizza's got to be gluten-free, though, and I don't like that. Frequent Miler now has a 524 rule for Wells Fargo on their credit card application rules by bank. Yeah, I've noticed that. I'm currently 124, so I don't have any of these, like, whatever 24 concerns to worry about, which is hilarious because in August of 2023, I was 624, and I just haven't gone after too many cards in the last year. But Wells is currently 5. I've already got the Attune, I've got the Autograph, I've got the Active Cash. I don't necessarily see myself adding the Autograph Journey anytime soon. So there's that. And so all I would need would be the higher end personal card, or if they want to add a mid-tier or like answer to the Ink Cash on the business side, that would be cool. But regardless, like, I'm in a good spot with them. Juan's down for pizza. Background Balloon, how much longer do you think the Built credit card has left to live before it flops like Mesa? Built neighborhood program at large will probably be fine, but the credit card, on the other hand, this is an interesting question. I don't think that they can go to a 4th issuer. The Wells card was launched in 2022 and it lasted until 2025. So it lasted about 2.5 years, which is 2.5 Mesas. Then they had the Evolve card that launched, I want to say, sometime in 2021. They need this card. Like, they need stability to not be a question for the cardless card to be a success. Like, it needs to entrench itself. Wells only lasted 2.5 years, so they have to, like, this partnership has to last at least like 4 years before, in order for Built to show that it's viable to do on a credit card and maybe get a bigger bank interested. Also, macroeconomic conditions have to be more favorable to the larger banks. They're not great right now for anyone, and I don't know that the bigger banks want to take the risk of mortgages and defaults and, possibly lose out on tons of money. But I think if Built plays this right, and the way they play it right, in my opinion, is it has to be an underwhelming card. Like, it can't be a really flashy, everyone needs to go run, get this card, hit the welcome offer, destroy the, 5 bananas it to death. That is the quickest way for the Built card concept to go under. So I don't know what that secret sauce is going to be. I don't know that Built knows what that secret sauce is going to be, but 3 issuers in 5 years, not the best path. And, the fact that they couldn't get anyone other than a startup to really line up with what they were looking to do, because I'm sure they shopped themselves while after Wells gave them the ultimatum to fix things in a year, or we have to put an annual fee on this card. I'm sure they were shopping themselves to Citi. I'm sure they were shopping themselves to Chase, to American Express. They added Kenneth Chenault from American Express to their board of directors. He's the chairman of the board of directors. I'm sure they tried reaching out to Capital One. I'm sure they reached out to other major institutions before settling on, let's gamble with a fintech. So I don't know. I don't know how viable it is. Dugras, actual points of miles question incoming. With the death of many uplifts and portals, with fewer and fewer 1.5-ish options going away, do you see this trend continuing? Will some issuer grab that market? I think it'll come back when. So it's really only been like a 3-horse race, and one of those horses happened to be Wells Fargo, and nobody knew about that possibility. I think Chase was giving away too many points, and losing the Ink Train was undercutting Chase Travel, because you can issue out $900 in points, and then folks are going to redeem that $900 for $1,350 guaranteed. They will make that trade every time. So I do think Chase may come back into that market. They're just going to have to slash the ways of free flowing welcome offers, with the exception of Chase instituting their own version of no lifetime language. But they just had too many points in circulation. They were circulating too many points, and so they had to take finer metals out of the coinage, and we're in that process right now. I think they could go back to a flat 1.5. I think going back to a flat 1.5 would help their overall issues at the moment. Then there's US Bank. I think it's just easier for US Bank to get out of credit cards altogether at this point. Let Elan be the credit card side of things and run credit card as a service and make your money that way. But you issuing credit cards, stop it. You don't get to do that anymore. And then the last one was Wells Fargo with the Visa signature card that they stopped taking applications for. They haven't forced anyone off of the card. The card can still exist, but their travel portal is also crap. Do I see anyone else doing it? I could see Citi potentially trying to get into this game, and I could see Wells Fargo potentially trying to get into this game, and I could see Chase kind of doing a mea culpa if points boost isn't really a thing in the next year. It's going to be a thing, but I don't if it's not producing them enough revenue. I think the slash and burn on the Ink Train make it a little bit harder to get the easy points out of them, but make point acquisition easier overall with better multipliers and possibly more cards. Then they will potentially go back to 1.5. But that is pure speculation on my part. I think if Capital One wanted to do it, they could have done it at any point. Maybe they do it in time. And then there's Amex. If Amex did it, it would be game over. Everybody would jump over to Amex. But we're seeing a contraction in that market right now, not an expansion. I think macro indicators getting better might lead some banks to be willing to experiment at the 1.5 to get an edge, but we'll see. Kevin, what credit card is best points? Is best points earned or cashback earned? It's your preference. There are a lot of 5% cashback cards that don't cash out for points and can be used for points transfer. So you can always, max out as much of the 5% life as you want. Take that cash back, assuming you can get cash back in the form of cash, and then move that into and purchase points where you want to purchase them, or put it into an investment account, or put it into a Roth, or put it into whatever, because it's a rebate and you get it 100% tax with no tax implications. So whatever makes the most sense to you. If you want to, build out for international travel, if you want to build out for making your travel as subsidized as you can and relying more on points than worrying about, paying out of pocket with cash or having the cash on hand, points are a better prospect for you. I think if you're worried about points versus cashback, and that is the significant question for you, transferable point currencies that can be cashed out at 1 cent per point. So Wells Fargo, Citi, Chase are the easiest ones. Capital One, if you don't get a venture card, is fine. Discover would be fine, again, if you don't get a venture card, assuming that they give you the capability to move your Discover It cash to venture miles, which I've poo-pooed, but I poo-pooed Citi landing the plane with Americans, so it's entirely possible that gets turned on in like the next quarter or by the end of the year or next year. But what's best is it's entirely dependent upon the user, because there are so many different ways to play this game. Look at the rewards master, look at Chad, look at Uncle Luke, look at Dugras, like all varying ideologies, and you can just buy the points and just go from there. Tag your it. Is it tag your it? I have a cruise trip planned to Cozumel here in February. Points paid for it. Nice. Is it was it by like Virgin points, or because those can get expensive? But if you did it through Chase or Bilt or whatever other points, that's awesome. Nicholas, Wells Fargo cards are getting harder to get. I tried the Attune and denied. Interesting. I got the Attune like right around the time it came out, but it had been years since I had gotten a Wells Fargo card. So I don't know. It's not like Wells Fargo keeps it. It's not like Wells Fargo like gives me most favored applier status, but yeah, it's interesting. Kevin, my family and I are going to Florida on February 5th to the 9th. Nice. Charvizio, Wells Fargo gave me a Bilt card in August of 2025. I was at Lowell 24. Yeah, I think at that point they just didn't care. They knew the end was coming and they wanted to make it Bilt's problem because Bilt was going to cardless. And now Bilt and cardless won't let you just easily transfer your account because Wells Fargo decided not to sell the back book and are making everyone get a new account, which is hilarious. James just had pizza. Nice. Stacy asked, why do you focus on the Wells Fargo ecosystem? I'm sure you explained it somewhere. I didn't really. Wells was the first ecosystem that I got into. They were the first credit cards that I got. I have banked with Wells Fargo since I was a freshman in college, like just pure. I don't want to like figure out what bank to go to. I've got this account. Cool. It was the first account that I opened on my own. First account that I didn't have to, think too much about. My paychecks went into it. They offered me a credit card in 2012. I accepted over the phone. They just sent it to me. Started building out my credit that way. Then I applied for the, what did they give me first? I think they gave me a Visa signature first. Then I applied for the Cashwise. Then Active Cash came out and I turned the Cashwise into an Active Cash. And then Autograph came out and I turned the Visa signature into an Autograph card. And I applied for an Autograph card and didn't realize that welcome offers were a thing. Since then, Autograph added transfer partners. So that was awesome. And then the Attune came out, and the Attune, the biggest thing I thought was like, oh, I can turn my Amazon purchases into 4%. or 4 times points and go from there. Nobody else offers 4 times points at Amazon that's transferable, or being able to give me the ability to cash out at 1 cent per point without having to get the Amazon credit card. So the Attune and the Signify were added after transfer partners became a thing. So I don't know. It's not the best ecosystem, but they do cover pretty much everything. They cover a ton of things at 3 and 4%, hotels at 5%, which is awesome with the Autograph Journey. And like the only category they're missing is grocery. And like it's relatively easy. Like it's a nice, easy system. All of my cards have 5-figure credit limits that aren't insane. Overall, it's just where I've been the longest. My longest card. That's all. Nothing super crazy. Keith joins us. Thanks so much, Keith. Thank you for being a channel member. Also, shout out to my channel members, James and Charvizio. A couple others. Dugrouse is a channel member. Quick shout out to Sleepy Rod, Rupert Pond. Real quick, who else? Source King is a channel member. Thank you so much. Bill Wright, also a channel member. No Name is a channel member. And Mike Newland, I believe, is also a channel member, but Chad is definitely a channel member. So shout out to all the channel members here in the chat. Keith, their next move would need to buy cardless if their partnership with them fails. Yes, and then they'd have to actually work with another bank, which I don't know what happens. What happens to Bilt card points with Wells Fargo? Nothing. The points are with Bilt. Like that's the beauty with co-brand cards. Like when a co-branded card moves issuers, your points, nothing happens to your points. Like if Hilton gave up on American Express tomorrow and was like, "Hey, we're gonna go back to Citi," your points would just be there, and that's awesome. If JetBlue decided tomorrow to give up on their Barclays relationship, which would make me very happy, and go to literally any other bank for the moment, hopefully not Synchrony, my JetBlue points don't move. Like they're co-branded cards, they are with the company in question. So if you have Bilt points on the Bilt card from Wells Fargo and you don't, and it gets turned into an autograph, your Bilt points stay with Bilt. Like I generate Bilt points without having a Bilt card. They're just all with Bilt. Charvizio, why is everyone so pessimistic about Bilt? Bilt will be fine as long as they make it sustainable and make a card that's not appealing to credit card gamers. So a lot of the things here in this facet of YouTube is, you know, a lot of the folks here are gamers and they want like that exciting thing. So that's part of why it's like down across the board on channels, because we like to play the game. All right. And in Discords, it's because we like to play the game. And on Reddit, it's because we like to play the game. I don't think that like Bilt makes money, right? Bilt as a rent processing platform, they print money. Bilt as this neighborhood ecosystem and the transfer currency, that aspect of Bilt is going to be fine. Like there's nothing that is unsustainable about those portions of their company. The credit card side of thing has just been upheaval pretty much since the Wells Fargo relationship started falling apart. And so the pessimism is partly the pessimism is out of Bilt's control because Mesa fell apart the way that Mesa fell apart, right? Bilt is not Mesa. Bilt is stronger fundamentally than Mesa because they at least have that continual money flywheel with the ecosystem that they have, the commissions that they're getting, the contracts that they're signing to bring apartments into the Bilt neighborhood, into the Bilt Alliance. Sorry, the partnerships that they have with schools and student housing, bringing those into Bilt Alliance, the things that they're doing with condos, the agreements that they'll start setting up with HOAs, even though HOAs are evil. You know, now this mortgage portion of the flywheel, Bilt is going to print money. That Bilt is it's not a question of Bilt's sustainability as a company. The credit card, though, has gone through 3 issuers in 5 years. The third issuer is a company that their last round of series money, they only raised $60 million. Now, I'm sure they're doing another series round right now. that has to kill it. Like it has to be like 10 times larger in order to be able to kind of sustain some of the losses that you were seeing, because Wells was losing $10 million a month and they couldn't stop the bleeding. And they couldn't stop the bleeding to the point, and they lost probably far more than that $120 million. Like that was just the monthly take. Wells Fargo paid Built $200 every time somebody signed up for the card. So there were like 880,000 card members. That was close to $200 million that Wells was out just from paying Built to create that, to get a credit card. So the economics of their credit card and the mortgage points now and rent points on a credit card is kind of the big thing. I'm not necessarily down on the company in terms of its sustainability. Built's not going bankrupt anytime soon. Built as a credit card, though, I think is not necessarily long for this world if they don't get this right. And it needs to be a boring card. It needs to be a boring card that doesn't excite anyone to get into the gaming side of things. And they can't do the 5 bananas. Nicholas said he talked to a senior rep at Wells Fargo. They said it was Built that left, not Wells Fargo. My understanding of things from the timelines from the Wall Street Journal articles and the other articles that were printed about it over time was that Wells Fargo gave Built a year to fix the card in terms of its money losing. Otherwise, Wells Fargo was going to put on an annual fee, and Built wasn't going to abide by an annual fee. So Built made the decision probably then and there to start looking for a new partner. So Built may have left, but when you feel that you have a trigger switch put to your head, you are going to fly away from there. Like they were in fight or flight, and they were not going to fight Wells Fargo. They didn't have the resources to fight Wells Fargo on that for potential breach of contract, even though Wells probably would have had a stronger case for breach of contract. So they started looking for new partners, and yes, they left Wells Fargo, but like the conditions were not good for Wells or Built to continue the relationship, because Built needs cardless now to sign up all over again. I still have Built on my 524. Yeah, and it's just not. It's going to be rough. My prediction with Built is they lose Hyatt. I'm sure Chase wants that Built Hyatt loophole closed. They could. I don't remember when that contract was made. I feel like it's coming up on at least 3 years now. So if they lose Hyatt, that's going to be a big blow to their credibility, but it will help their long-term sustainability. So like it's a blessing and a curse if they lost. It's a curse and a blessing if they lost Hyatt for sure. They could lose Hyatt. It's not going to be great, but like they do have Marriott, they do have Hilton, they do have IHG, and they do have Accor. Like they're the only ones who have all 5 of those hotels, and I'm sure they'll add other hotels over time. But yeah, I'm sure Chase would prefer the exclusivity there, but Chase doesn't really get to dictate that because all they can say is that they're exclusive with a bank, not a rewards program. So who knows? We'll see. I don't know how much business Built was bringing into Hyatt as opposed to Chase to Hyatt. I'm sure Chase is significantly more, but I don't think it's an insignificant number that Built is producing for them. So maybe Hyatt's happy with the relationship. When do you think Chase is going to refresh the Sapphire Preferred? Probably early Q2. Apparently right around tax time is when that 100,000 point offer is always around. They could do a 125 offer and do the refresh all in one. I think if that's going to be the case, you're going to start seeing rumors about it probably next month. I would say sometime in April, maybe tax time. If not tax time, then possibly over the summer. But they gotta nail this one. Costco card, Rakuten card, and more high rewards restart. Maybe. Keith says, as Spaithco likes to point out, the banks control the pricing of their portals. Yep, they sure do. They control the pricing and they control the redemption side of things. Chase is going to try to be more, try to make Chase is trying to make the portal more profitable. That's why it's 8 times across the board on all portals, portal purchases. The fact that they're also tacking on quite the extra on some things isn't going to help them, but the dynamic pricing with the points boost is just so that they can get more of a profit out of it for sure. Costco card is not a good card. It's not amazing for sure. Sharvizio, Chase doesn't control Hyatt and has no power on Hyatt leaving built. Kerr stated Hyatt is going nowhere for now, for sure. Chase can't pressure Hyatt in terms of being exclusive with Chase specifically across all rewards programs. Chase would have to pay Hyatt significantly more than they currently are, depending on whatever that arrangement is. So I don't think they're going to lose Hyatt anytime soon, but when they lose Hyatt is going to be it'll be interesting to see what happened there. But I'm not saying it's happening this year. I'm not saying it's happening immediately. If Hyatt's happy with the business that Built is bringing them, Hyatt is going to be there. If Hyatt is unhappy with the business that Built is bringing them, Hyatt will not extend a new contract with them. And since I think it's just bank exclusivity that Chase is mostly concerned about, like Chase doesn't want to see Hyatt go to Wells. Chase doesn't want to see Hyatt go to Citi. Chase doesn't want to see Hyatt go to American Express. Chase wants to keep Hyatt to themselves on the bank side. As long as they keep them on the bank side, they're good. Whatever else Chase may do in terms of, Built or Mesa or Rove or any other company that starts as a fintech and jumps into the game, Chase has very little control over that. And if Chase wants to control it, they should just buy Hyatt. Jerome popping in. Hey, Matt. Hey, Jerome. Thanks for stopping in. Let's see. Keith, I don't believe anything Built ever says. The only thing that's ever true with Built is what they write in what Built writes in 4-point font. Yeah, that didn't help. That didn't help at all. Dugra says, thanks for answering my question. Absolutely. Do the best I can. I know I went a little long-winded on that one, but I could see it coming back for sure. Just not right now. Kevin, if I have a credit card, I would be in the middle of some travel and some cashback credit card. I don't know what you mean. Because if you're traveling and you have no foreign transaction fee card, like whatever you're producing with that card is fine. Like you can be producing Wells Fargo points that you can cash out for cashback while you're traveling. If you need the money right then and there, you probably should have money stashed in a debit account that'll have no or reimbursable fees, like the Charles Schwab debit you can use internationally, and they'll reimburse you whatever fees get assessed to you on that debit card. So if it's a question of needing cash, you'll need a debit card. If it's a question of just earning cash back, anything that's non-foreign transaction fee would be fine. And again, it's the type of point. It's like how the points can be used. Chase points can be cashed out for 1 cent per point. Citi points can be cashed out for 1 cent per point. Wells Fargo points can be cashed out for 1 cent per point. If you're using the Capital One Saver card, those can be cashed out for 1 cent per point. If you move your Capital One cash back to Venture Miles, you can use the Venture Mile travel erasure at 1 cent per point, but you will not get to move that cash out into cash back or put it into another account, like a cash account. That is done. You can redeem for statement credit for 0.5 cent per point, but you cannot get that back as cash after you move it over to Venture Miles. But if you cash out as cash on the Saver card, you're good, right? If you're traveling internationally, if you're producing membership reward points, unless you have an American Express Business Platinum card, an American Express Business checking account, you cannot cash out for 1 cent per point on just American Express cards. Now, if you add the Morgan Stanley card, you can cash out at 1 cent per point. And if you had the Charles Schwab Platinum card, you can cash out at 1.1 cent per point up to 1 million points. But those are special circumstances, and those are non-traditional Platinum cards that have some extra superpowers, which are great, but they're not cashback cards. So if you want to produce cashback while you're traveling, great. If you want to produce cashback in general, great. But like, as long as the points can be cashed out for a penny per point, Chase cards are cashback cards. Wells cards are cashback cards. Capital One is cashback. It can be cashback cards. Citi can be cashback cards. It's all cashback until you move the points elsewhere. Sleepy Rod, when does your salesman contract with Wells Fargo expire? He's kidding. I may or may not have extended it. I don't know, because like I'm not seeing enough green from them right now. I'm not seeing enough green from Chase or Amex to fully convert over. Just open a Wells Fargo bank account for the 450 bonus. Maybe they'll approve me if I apply for a new card with them. Relationships do play a factor for sure. I have to go close one of my bank accounts with them. That way to save account is just such a scam. Kevin's banked with Wells Fargo since his sophomore year of high school. Jimmer joins us. Thank you so much, Jimmer. Just got the Wells Fargo Business Signify Cash. It's a great card. 2% across the board. Unlimited 2% across the board. Not as common as you'd think with business cards, so that's solid. And has a foreign transaction fee. That sucks, but overall, really good card. And you can move that cash back over to points if you ever get an autograph, which is perfect. Do you think they're going to raise the credit limits on the 450 card because a lot of people are transferring their credit line with like $2,000-$3,000 limit? Doesn't make sense to have a limit of 3,000. I don't know anything about the 495 cards, honestly. If they're going to charge you $495 and only give you a $3,000 limit, they can pound sand if that's what they're going to do. I know the limits are probably going to be lower, but like Cardless is able to give pretty decent limits on the Qatar cards, and I think on the Tap Air Portugal cards for sure. So as long as you're getting 5 digits on your credit lines, you should be fine. So there's that. James mentions that money is fake. Remember that? Yeah, fiat currency is only worth what you say and believe that it is worth. That is true. Wells Fargo most likely wanted to take a write-off. I don't know. They had that contract until 2029. I don't think that you wanted to look at it and say, okay, we could take a $300 million write-off now, or we could keep losing money and maybe it'll turn around by 2020. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know how much that $320 million write-off works for the board. If Built actually makes this work and Built ends up, well, Built's already got a $10 billion valuation. If Built like 10x's that $10 billion valuation, I don't know how happy the board's going to be about that. Although they're still apparently invested in Built, they're just no longer strategic partners with Built. So maybe they'll still make some money on it at the end. But making money on it when you're not part of making the money on it isn't ideal. I think Wells will thank part of Sapphire Reserve, Strata Elite, Venture X. I don't know. I don't know what. There's a bunch of places they can go with it. When do you think Capital One is going to refresh the Venture? I hope sooner than later. The Venture is a terrible card. The Venture X nerf is going into effect in February. I don't know that they need to change the Venture X significantly, but I do think increasing the annual fee, getting some sort of extra value prop on that, and maybe going to a flat 8 or try to out Chase with a flat 9 in their travel portal in terms of earnings. That would be fine. Like they just, Yeah, I don't know. Because the Venture is a rough card at 95 now. Because why would you not just do the $300 coupon and do the Venture X? Like, that's a rough one. If you just want travel, and if you just want transfer partner access from Capital One, the Venture One at no annual fee. Yeah, it's only 1.25 times earnings, but it's a farce. Like, if all you're doing is transferring to transfer partners, and that's all that card needs to do, and you can pay no money for the transfer partner tax. So hopefully soon. I don't know if it'll be this year, but I imagine it's going to be at some point. Capital One main card is going to be Visa, MasterCard, and Discover on personal side, business side, Visa, Master. No, they're eventually just going to go all Discover. My pet theory on this one is they're going to phase out MasterCard first and move all their MasterCards over to the Discover network. And then over time, because the Venture X is the Visa Infinite, and the Venture X for Business is now the Visa Business Infinite. Only after they have converted MasterCards over will they consider moving the Visa cards over to the Discover network. And they've got to make the Discover network stronger in order to do that. And they also have to invest in things like primary rental car insurance and giving extras through that, like, you're losing from the Visa concierge service. So until they get those replacements into the Discover network, they're not going to give up on Visas anytime soon. I think they can sidestep things a little bit with MasterCard as they build up that network, but I don't think they can get off of MasterCard and Visa at the same time. Glad the conversation switched to sustainability after the Mesa shutdown. No one wants a repeat. Hopefully the way to game the new built card is somehow less than smartly and more than CSR. Yeah, I think Built would just prefer you not game them, but they're also, like, aware of gamification, so they know that games are going to happen. There's going to be a segment of the community that is just for gaming, but we'll see. But they do have to make the card sustainable. Like, losing the confidence of the card from your audience is not going to help them. J3 Carlos joining us. I switched my Rakuten points to go to Built. Any risk if Hyatt leaves Built before February 15th? Or they give enough notice. They're not going to just randomly shut down in the middle of the night. Let me rephrase. They're not likely to just randomly shut down a transfer partnership in the middle of the night. They would likely give notice, so probably give you like 30, 45 days. You're good for February. You're probably good for May, honestly. I don't think anything's going to happen there in the immediate future. The immediate being at least the end of the year. I wouldn't be surprised if they, extended their contract. Does pineapple belong in pizza? In my opinion, no. But if it'll make you happy, I guess. I'd prefer you didn't. But at least add something good with it. Super got a 9K limit on his Avianca card. All right, 9K is respectable. But if you're paying for that like $299 card and only got a 9K limit, that's a little gross. Hopefully it was just the $99 card. Filmo says, Chase just lowered my limit on my ink preferred from 2K to 1,000. Thank God that saved themselves that liability. Well, Filmo, you also told Chase that you don't care about their cards for months by not using it. Like, they cut it due to inactivity, not because of liability, I don't think. I assume. I'm not a Chase underwriter. Nicholas, I think Chase was Wells Fargo was bitter. That's why they kept the card lines at Wells Fargo, and you have to reapply with cardless. No, not necessarily. Why would Wells Fargo just hand over 1 million accounts to a company that can't pay them to hand over 1 million accounts? Like, they can't give away 1 million accounts just out of the goodness of their hearts, right? Like, Barclays is going to be compensated for the American Airlines cards that they are transferring. Part of why Barclays was handing out the Aviator Red like candy was to increase the number of customers who had that card or increase the number of accounts that had that card, because they likely have a per account, or had a per account agreement with Citi. Like, that's just good business. Wells Fargo, it's not a question of Wells Fargo being bitter. It's Wells Fargo has already lost, let's say conservatively, $350 million on this card, right? Now you're going to hand over 1 million card holders to a company that can't sustain half that number, because they shut down all of their team co-branded cards, like the sport team co-branded cards that they were doing. They shut down the Simon card. Now they're just doing Alibaba, Qatar, Latam, Top Air Portugal, Avianca. So they have 5 products, right? I don't know that they have 100,000 customers across for each of those 5 products. And now they're taking on their biggest client ever. And they don't even, like, they just raised $60 million. It's not a question of Wells being bitter. It's a question of Cardless can't afford to buy it back. And Bilt isn't going to give Wells Fargo money to, and Bilt decided they weren't going to give Wells Fargo money to bring that back book over on behalf of Cardless. And I'm sure there's some sort of like business regulation about that. Although regulations don't matter and laws don't matter right now. So there's also that. But no, I don't think it's a bitterness thing. But yeah, more likely that Cardinals couldn't come up with the cash to buy the entire portfolio. No. If I have 5 cards, I'll go with the no fee. I'll get no FX fee, Amex Gold, Venture X, Autograph, PRE, Triple. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if that's what you want to do for no foreign transaction fee, that's fine. I mean, you're paying $325 plus $395 and $550. It's a setup for sure. Rakuten gave me a $500 limit, and it takes 3 to 4 days for payments to post to free up credit. That's annoying, especially if they came back to you and shut you down, like tried to shut you down for credit cycling. That would suck. Hitman's Kid, pineapple on pizza. There you go. Not an opinion I share, but that's fair. I also have to have gluten-free pizza now, so like my life is awful. Just the worst. Nicholas, what credit bureau does Cardless go through? Does anybody know? I don't know offhand. Sleepy Rod would probably know better than I. I'm going to assume that they pulled either TransUnion or Experian. I think it's Experian primarily. So yeah, I would assume it will be Experian. Although for the transition, you're going to get just a soft pull, so you don't have to worry about the hard pull, since that's a thing for people. Kevin Yen, Mesa card has become a historical warning on what not to do. Yup. That's for sure. Sharvizio, I'm still keeping the autograph PC because I have hopes the Beyond might be really good to pair with if Bilt messes up. Yeah. If they allow a product change to it. Wells has been weird with product changes. Like, they invite you to move the autograph to the active cash, to the autograph. The Attune is a MasterCard, so that's a bit of a fustercluck. And you can't move from the autograph to the autograph journey, or the autograph journey down to the autograph, because being a normal bank doesn't make sense to them. Hopefully they change that. I have to reach out to some people about that. Yeah, Wells paid over $200 million for those cardholder accounts. You don't give them away. Bill didn't want to pay. Yeah. It's not bitter when it's business. Although bitterness created the conditions for the bad business. Hitman's Kid, oh no, gluten-free. Ugh. But it's good for your tummy. Depends. Because, I went from eating like 2 or 3 2 New York slices to now needing a whole personal pizza to satisfy, which is not great. Stacy's travel points. What? A $500 limit on a Rakuten card? That's nuts. I'm so sorry, Source King. Yeah, that's a problem. So cardless pulled Experian farm in Northern California. There you go. So Experian is the most likely. And Nicholas would love a Wells card to product changes, one key card to Wells to product changes, one key card to an Attune card. That would be awesome. I know within families or like within certain systems it can work, but like co-brands are, yeah, I would love for Wells Fargo to kind of change the way they operate when it comes to product changes, because the way they currently operate is stupid. Quick pause there. But yeah, it is January 2nd, so we're 12 days away from knowing for sure what the 3 cards from Built are going to look like, or we'll probably find out next week due to more code dumps that happen to fall onto the website. I did a video today about the stuff that was pulled out of the code yesterday and today. Definitely check that video out. There is going to be a Built card with the ability to get 3x on grocery or dining, and it sounds like that will be locked in and be a choice every year. So that's a different way of doing things. I don't mind that. I also think that, that card could be a really good complement to a Chase setup for sure, because Chase notoriously doesn't have groceries. So that could work, especially if they threw an Instacart membership on it. That might be a card I go after. But we're 12 days away from that. Hopefully some other big things are happening not too long ago. Sabres on the island January 24th. Got any StubHub credit left? I burnt my StubHub credit on a different show. I'm hoping that, somebody can stop the Sabres right now, because they're a bit of a weird wagon. But I already burned my StubHub credit. Did that for sure. I've been looking for a new restaurant to burn it on. So I'm using my credits, Filmo. I'm using my credits. Sleepy Rod, Joe Barretto mentioned a Wells Fargo manager mentioned a new Wells Fargo product launch will coincide with Built's launch. Why do I feel differently? I do think I'm aware of a date for Wells. I'm aware of products that would be incredibly ill-received. And I'm not aware that the big boy card is currently on the docket. Just from people I've talked to. Like, I do think that Wells is going to do something. I do think that they are going to launch the big card this year. Just what I'm hearing about right now to coincide with what Built is doing. What I heard would be completely unacceptable, completely not well received in any way, shape, or form. So again, I think the intel that I've heard is probably off, but we're going to know more, and that source is going to keep digging and going about things. I won't say anything else about what they're looking at, but what they told me this week, what we heard, yes, February is still very much in play. Yes, there are products that they could be launching. Yes, right now, I don't think that Beyond is one of those products until it's confirmed, but it would make more sense for Beyond to be one of those products. And the person I talked to also agrees that Beyond could be, they just don't have anything clear cut on it. So we'll see. Nicholas drops us a $1.99 super chat. Thank you so much, Nicholas. Greatly appreciated. I won't do the Dugrass celebrate, but I guess I just did. Wells Fargo pulled TransUnion or Experian for Northern California. Also a part of NorCal from. Source King, Stacey's travel points. Yeah, I was hoping to meet the $2,000 minimum spend pretty quick, but having to recycle the card makes it less than efficient. Hopefully you don't trip anything. That would not be great. Rando Sports says where they are. Did 30K min spend for a sub, never again. Is that the Sapphire Reserve for Business? Because I feel like that's either the Sapphire Reserve for Business or the Venture X for Business. Both of those are big ticket items. Kevin following up. Wells Fargo pulls Equifax for me. Oh, nice. My Equifax report is very empty. But no, I'm not disagreeing with Joe that there's not going to be products in February. It's just there was confusion, and so I'm hoping to see that confusion cleared up from folks I've talked to. But hopefully it's the premium card. I wouldn't mind a premium card. The other thing I wouldn't mind from Wells Fargo is more business cards, because I don't mind Wells Fargo business cards at all, and they don't go report to your personal, so that can help. But yeah, we're an hour and 15 in. We'll see what happens with Built and the rest of the Built cards. I have a feeling we're going to hear more about them in the next week, and we'll probably know all the multipliers, all the annual fees, all the credits, or have a rough idea. You're going to see a bunch of videos probably from me and some other creators who try to be like Johnny on the spot about it. I will try to let them marinate a little bit more and give, whatever takes I have on them from there as best I can. But yeah, just relatively quickish live. SoFi doing garbage things with that $10 a month fee. Filmo's also voting for more Wells Fargo business cards for sure. That would be great. The house in the Bay Area, yep, $500K, mostly around $1 million. Yeah, I don't want to live in the Bay Area ever. So yeah, just be on the lookout for more stuff from me. I don't have anything currently scheduled. I've got to put together some content, but thanks so much for watching, everyone. Talk to you guys soon. Happy New Year, and I'm sure we'll be in touch very shortly, either with a Built emergency live, a Rove emergency live, or a Wells Fargo emergency live, if I happen to get stuff that I'm told that I can disclose. Oh, real quick, targeted offer. Got an offer on the United card, spend 5K. Yeah, that's definite targeted offer, Rupert. That's a pretty good one for 5K, 10K miles. That's 2x everything. That's awesome. 10K, 15K miles. That's 1.5. Could be worse. Even Morgan Hill, 600K nowadays. There you go. Clinton says later. All right. With that, folks, enjoy your night. 61 people joined. Thank you so much to all 61 of you. Thank you to my channel members. Thank you again to Nicholas for dropping the $1.99 super chat. Appreciate you all. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.